So now that we have the idea how to move our sprites, now we're going to have them interact with other sprites on the screen or other things on the screen. So you can see in this example, we're going to use the is touching. So if we come to our if statement, we can come in here and we can find our is touching, which should be under sprites. Yep, is touching, and you can drag that right in. Again, if you're using the blocks, it's there, or you could type it in. Well, what sprite are we worried about touching? Well, we want our bunny in this example. You can see up here is touching our target sprite, which in this example is our robot. The robot. So there we go. Oh, I don't have my period in there. So the bunny is touching the robot. So now I'm going to run this program. And the program says, well, when the bunny touches the robot, they're going to set the bowl's animation. So that bowl variable, that animation that they have, to just being the bowl for that dinner. So the variable is dinner, there's stew in the bowl, and then when they touch the bowl, now changes the animation to just the plain bowl here. So we can see that by using that is touching, meaning if these bunnies are touching, we're stopping all of the sprites velocities and setting them to 0, and we're changing that bowl's animation. So as we move on then, in this example, we're going to see we have our, I guess it's probably an apple dropping into our blender, and we want the blender to stop, if you can take a look there. So if I jump into the coding now, we're going to say and take a look, and we can notice that we don't have in conditional statement in here. So what we want to do is we want to add our conditional statement, and we're going to bring in an if statement, and we want to basically say is if the apple is touching, what is it touching? Well, in this one, our variable is called blender. If we look above, we want our blender to begin to shake. Now, because that condition isn't met on the get, the blender isn't shaking. Once that apple reaches that, once they're touching, I'm saying, then the blender begins to shake on that axis or on that random number, because that condition is met. And again, that apple is going to keep falling through the screen and keep going forever and ever down past that 400 on the Y. So because it's no longer touching it, that is why the blender stops to shake. So if we can take a look as we go, we have this tach here, and the arrow keys are programmed to move this and then have it say pop. So what they're asking us to do in this example is to look at our screen here, and what we want to do is we want to come here and set our debug for our balloon to be true. And we're going to copy this same piece of coding here, and we're going to put it down here, and we're going to set the tach debugging to true here. Now when you notice when I run the program, it gives me my collision boxes. What constitutes a collision? You can see that on that initial one, that green box is nowhere near that balloon. So we're going to eventually learn how to program how to shrink that collision box so it actually occurs when these objects are touching. So then you're going to choose one in Bubble 7, either debugging touching or circle colliders in practice. And then your assessment is in Bubble 8. And when the rainbow touches the horse, it should turn into a unicorn. So you're going to change the coding here to make that occur.